Beautiful morning, sports fans. You're back in the cheap seats. Josh Komnick, the furniture guy, Jake Johnston, after a 2-week break for myself. I guess I took a vacation 2 weeks ago, and then our bosses graciously gave us the Saturday off for the 4th of July. Jake, you went to Florida, and you've been back now.
Yes, well-deserved, by the way.
Yes, it's been nice. But we're out here at Jake's Furnishings, located at 1100 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln, open 7 days a week. Phone Jake at 735-1212 or go online to jakesfurnishings.com. And Jake, a lot of things going on here in the sporting world. You're getting to that time where we've talked about it now, All-Star break is coming up. Baseball is somewhat at a lull, although there's some other things going on in sports. You still got that NFL lockout that's going to be going on probably up until just about the time they need to start training camp, and then they'll move in.
Well, there's looking like it's may have a few breaks, a few cracks in the armor of the owners there in the NFL. They might be pulling them out the lockout, maybe quite possibly later this week. So that could be a big thing. Get the football ball, get it kicking around, get it moving. Maybe start getting them in this training camp here pretty quick. On top of that, like we said, got the All-Star break, and right after the All-Star break, we can start talking some trades.
Yeah, well, a couple of my guys in the fantasy league that I'm in are getting a little nervous that we're not going to have a fantasy league this year. So hopefully they get that ironed out, so at least we can watch football on Sundays.
I'll be honest, I don't think it's going to be a problem. I really didn't think they were going to get a contract done, but everything that's happened in this last week, it looks like it's all going to get done, and they're kind of sitting down now, crossing the T's, dotting the I's type thing.
Well, one thing that hasn't been getting done is the St. Louis Cardinals and the Chicago Cubs. But before we get into that mess, we've got a special guest with us this morning. He's got to get away, so he came on early. Head coach out at the Legion, the Lincoln Legion team, the manager, Jon Garlits. Brett, thanks for stopping in this morning.
Not a problem. I appreciate it.
And Brett is in this morning. They have a game today. Brett, out at the field here in Lincoln against who are you playing today and what time?
Today we have two teams coming in. We'll be playing Rantoul at 11 o'clock, and then Rantoul will play Pontiac at 1, and then we'll play Pontiac at 3 o'clock.
Long day of baseball, but you can't beat today. The weather.
Well, and the junior team is actually hosting on the Legion field, the rec center field, at 1 o'clock. They'll be playing a doubleheader there, so we'll have 5 games going on. We're at the high school field today.
Right. Can't beat that. Listeners, head out. If you don't have anything going on today, it's a beautiful day. Take your cooler, get some water, get a sandwich, go out, have a little picnic out on the baseball field, and support your local Legion teams. Brad, getting into some of your team this year. I know we talked on the phone just this week about your team. Before we get into that, how many years have you been helping out the Legion and being in the managerial spot?
This is my 5th year. Next year we're going to have a younger guy take over. I'm going to help Mike Thornton with the paperwork. It seems like every year that the management part of it gets just. I didn't think it'd get any worse, but it does. So we've got another younger guy coming in. In fact, he's helping me this year, and then he's going to take over Trent Kavelman. Fine young man and does a great job with the young guys. So we're going to let the younger guys take over. And say Gary Rademacher took over the junior squad this year and has done a great job with them. So hopefully those two will be back next year.
Sure, new blood, a little youth in there, and yourself. And I know you're a avid to the baseball game. I've known you since I was in junior high. You've been umpiring, and are you still out on the umpiring trail? I know you did some Big Ten, did some MAC conference games. Have you still been umpiring, doing that? Yeah,
and like I say, I'll be hibernating here for too long, and then heading down to Florida at the end of February again. We're going to spend another month down there, and we usually got 40, 50 games before we come back. So as long as I can physically do it, I'm going to continue doing it.
Where did you go this year? Give us some schools that you and some ballpark that you were able to see on your umpiring tour.
Chicago. My schedule was a little more limited this year because I told you before I had a physical problem. But Florida was probably my biggest trip this year. We saw a lot of Division I schools. Like I say, I had a lot of weekends canceled this year because of some problems. But like I say, that we always open up with the Big Ten Big East Challenge, and that's always great baseball down there. So.
Can't beat that. Warm weather, getting out of Central Illinois for that. You being an umpire, when you're in a manager out at the Legion field, can you give them much grief since you get it all the time, I'm sure, umpiring?
I don't, and that's one thing that I'm really proud of the players. I mean, I tell them before the season starts. Of course, the ones that have been there before, they've heard it before, and they just kind of shrug when I tell them. But I tell them, I say, guys, we make mistakes. They make mistakes. As long as they're hustling, just same as you, that's all we expect. If they're not hustling, then I might say something to them. But if they just, like last night, I was helping Gary with the junior squad, and the guy he missed a call at first. It was a play at first base, and the pitcher came over to cover it and just missed the base. And the base guy was in a decent position. He just from the infield, he couldn't see it.
Happens.
And it happens, and that's just part of the game.
Yep. Happens in Major League. It happens in high school. It happens in junior high. It's just I've gotten to kind of call myself, I guess, to the officials and the umpires too after doing some coaching also. Talk a little bit about your roster this year. We're looking at it here before we got going. We've got a number of different schools here: Hartsburg, Emden, Mount Pulaski, of course, Lincoln High School, Illini Central, an athlete from Delavan, and you can't go wrong with getting. Well, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from Hartsburg. It looks maybe 6 from Hartsburg, and going to a super sectional, pretty good team to choose from.
Yeah, they. I was actually, my season ended. The college season usually ends a little earlier than the high school, so the last week or so I was able to watch both Lincoln and Hartsburg play in their postseason games, and Hartsburg played really well. They kind of dropped a little bit in the super sectional for one reason, and that just happens. Again, some days you have good days, some days you have bad, and they played a pretty good ball. In fact, the team they lost to ended up winning the state tournament.
Right.
So, and Lincoln pulled it together. They had a pretty good year. They won another regional this year. So, like I say, this area's got some decent baseball, and we try to get them a little more playing time in the summer.
You going out as far as being the manager? Do you have to go out and, like you said, you're umpiring and things? Are there other guys, or do you get phone calls? How do you pick your roster on when who's going to be on the team and who's not going to be able to make it this year?
We deal a lot with the high school coach here in Lincoln first. We get a roster from him. And then once we get the players from Lincoln, they have to play high school baseball, whether it be here in Lincoln or wherever. That's the first requirement, is they have to be on an active roster for a high school team. Or if they've had a year of college, they have to have played their senior year of high school. They can't just come back and play. So actually we have just one young man that is that this year. He's from Mount Pulaski. He didn't play college, but he was on I can't think of the name, but the travel club. It's not the big club, but he did play some. But he did play high school baseball as a senior, so he was able to come back this year. But as far as the other ones, the local schools, we know most of their high school coaches and deal with them and get a few players. And this year, like I was saying before, the one boy from Delavan, one of the Hartsburg boys said something about it, and his folks called me and I said, come to practice. I said, we need players on the roster, and if like I say, if the boy from Hartsburg vouched for him, that was good enough for me, and he turned out to be an excellent baseball player.
Yeah, said one of the best shortstops you've had in your 5 years out at the Legion. Just giving you some of the roster here real quick, that way the listeners know who they're going out to see this afternoon. Riley Wolpert from Hartsburg-Emden, Andrew McCarty from Mount Pulaski, Zach Leonard from Hartsburg-Emden, Tyler Horsham from Lincoln High School, Aaron Clem from Lincoln, Ross Arnaud from Lincoln, Tom Hilton from Illini Central, Rob Meeker from Hartsburg-Emden, Eric Hopp from Lincoln Community High School, Michael Coulter from Illini Central, TJ Carter from Delavan, Joey Burge from Lincoln, Jason O'Brien, who was just named the Lincoln Courier Baseball Player of the Year from Hartsburg, Corey Yazel is the coach, one of the coaches, Austin Jones from Lincoln, Nick White from Hartsburg-Emden, Joel Richart from Lincoln Community High School, and Cody Bolin from Hartsburg-Emden. How's the season been going so far? I know we talked on the phone. Your season's kind of short this year. It's wrapping up here pretty quickly, and you're going to be starting the tournaments coming up.
Yeah, we started our first tournament game against they've actually thrown two districts together this year. Taylorville is the only team from their district, so they put them in our district this year tournament. And actually, since our district hosts the division, which is the next level, the two teams in our district both go into the division. So basically all three teams in our first level go to the tournament. It's just a matter of where we're seated.
Right.
So we're playing for seeding rights. And that starts Sunday against Taylorville at right now I'm thinking it's probably going to be the high school field at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
We kind of like playing there. The surface is tremendous, and like I say, it just depends on which field is in better shape come Sunday. So.
Sure. Season gone so far, wins, losses is what you expected. Is some guys doing better than expected?
Yeah, there's always some good surprises. The three of the boys that you mentioned, will be playing on the junior team today. Our numbers this year are a little down, so we've been making sure both teams have enough players. Mm-hmm. But like I say, the ones you listed, they'll all be playing on one field or the other. Right now, I think our record is 7-10, which obviously could be a little better. And it could be a little bit worse.
Sure.
With vacations, and I tell the boys we don't make excuses. When we blow a game and I always tell them too. I say coaches lose games, players win them. So.
Right.
So I guess I have 10 losses and players have 7 wins. But one thing I like to do in the summertime, as opposed to what spring sports is, and again with it being a limited schedule this year, it was a little tougher to do. But summertime is when we play everybody.
Right.
I know that sometimes grinds on some fans and some parents, but if a kid comes out and comes out and spends his time, he's going to play for me. Mm-hmm. Every year I've found somebody that everybody says, well, he'll be a bench player. And all of a sudden, he's in the starting lineup because he's earned it. And again, that's what summertime's for. I mean, these kids don't come out to sit on the bench. They want to at least see some playing time. And like I said, we got a really good bunch that get along this year, maybe too well. Mm-hmm. So, sometimes I worry about what's going on. When I'm out coaching third base, I sometimes wonder what's going in the dugout. Right. But, and they all understand that. Our record probably could be better if I'd played the same 9 guys every game, but what's our goal? Our goal is to look towards Sunday,
right,
when the tournaments start, and they know come Sunday, we may play 9 guys. That's the time when everybody kicks it in. So.
Yeah, I remember, back in high school when I was playing, there was, or even before, I see some plaques on the wall out at the Legion of teams that were played 35 games or 28 games or something like that. Is the Legion itself, the league, is it dying? Because do you think because you've only played 17 games this year, or is it just the scattered teams are everywhere?
This year with the actually I think we had 4.5, almost 5 weeks is all we had to play this year. We had 30, maybe 34 games scheduled, and we've lost probably 7 or 8 to rainouts. And then, like I said, then we had to cut off a couple of them just because the tournaments were coming in. But Legion baseball has struggled the last several years for various reasons, and that's something that hopefully they're going to be addressing. I mean, they know it's coming, and,
sure.
and we've made some suggestions, and I'll be honest with you, we've had some problems with the state. They call it the department baseball people, mm-hmm. And even our local division people, but. Bottom line for us is, and that's what we always preach here, is we want to keep the kids on the field.
Right.
Anything that takes them off the field is negative, and that's not what we're. As far as I'm concerned, and Mike Thornton is our general manager, and our local Legion has been very, very supportive, and they're the same way. The more kids we can get on the field representing the American Legion post here in Lincoln, and not only them, but the American Legion itself,
right,
is what the goal should be, and that sometimes for one reason or another is lost, and that's the first thing we need to get back.
Sure. Coach, you got a lot of these guys that we're looking at the roster. I see a number of different guys just that I know will be back hopefully next year too. This is not a senior-laden team that you have out there now. You've got a bunch of guys that will come back next year with even more experience.
Yeah, and they'll be picking up some boys from the junior team. They'll be solid. Like I say, Trent will have a good group to come in, and like I say, he always works with them. And the junior team again should be pretty good. And Gary has a habit of turning some of them around too.
Good. Well, that's what they need at this time. Guys to get better, and the time is during the summer to get better. Before we let you go, I know you got to get out to the field to toss around some BP for the game. Give us the times of what time you're playing today and where at, so the listeners can head out today.
Okay, we play today at the high school field starting at 11 o'clock, and Lincoln will play the 11 and the 3 o'clock game. We will play Rantoul first, and then Pontiac. And actually, Pontiac is the other team in our district tournament. And then Sunday, and again, the Junior Legion plays at 1 o'clock, starting at 1 o'clock on the Legion. I think it's still Chuck Lindstrom Field.
Sure.
And then Sunday we play 1 o'clock starting the district. Tuesday we'll travel to Pontiac for a 5:15 game, and then hopefully Wednesday we'll wrap up the district and be done. And then, like I say, come next Tuesday, the 19th, is when we'll start the division tournament. And that is, keeping our fingers crossed, that's supposed to be at Illinois Wesleyan this year.
Nice.
The first game since they threw a curve at us and added an extra team to the division tournament, the first round might be in Pontiac.
Okay.
But other than that, most of it will be played at Illinois Wesleyan, which, the kids love that. They love playing. We played in Mattoon this last week in a wooden bat tournament and got to play at Eastern Illinois University.
I saw that.
And, the kids loved that was our last game. And we finished 3-1 in a very competitive tournament. So, in fact, the only team that beat us ended up winning the tournament. So we were pretty happy. Upset we didn't make it to the championship round, but like I said, we played well enough to be right in it.
Always nice to get on those college atmosphere fields, the perfect conditions, the perfect infield, the dugouts, all the sunken down dugouts. I remember the same thing. Wanting to get to the nice facilities. That's the Legion manager, Brett Garlits. Get out to the Lincoln Park District, Lincoln High School area. You'll find some baseball going on sometime all day today. Get out there and cheer them on, give them a hand. These guys have been playing in the heat and representing as Brett said, our Legion Post very well this year. Brett, thanks for coming in, and get out and get us a couple W's.
Thank you, and thanks for the exposure.
No
Appreciate
problem.
it.
We'll be right back. We're going to take a quick commercial break. You're in the Cheap Seats, 96.3 FM and WLCN online.com.